Hey, it's Dr. Heather here, and guess what? Majority of my runners always ask, what things should I have to do myofascial work? Essentially, that means soft tissue work. So what I have behind me is essentially 3 different items that are the keys to your myofascial release techniques. So we're going to discuss each one of those. But let's just go over what that word means first. So first of all, the word myofascial means, actually myo means muscle, fascia means tissue, and essentially what we're trying to do is break down the tissue so we promote increased blood flow, increased lymphatic flow, and increased neurological flow. So this way, as we feel that soreness, when we're going into our recovery stage, which essentially is that rest period, we wind up having a better outcome in terms of we don't get that lactic acid buildup. We're really starting to make sure that we're on that injury prevention side of things. So that's why we want to use these tools. So behind me, I'm going to show you guys 3 tools that are essential and should be a part of every single runner's survival kit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is obviously a foam roller. Okay, who doesn't love the foam roller? If you don't have one, I would highly recommend getting one. And just so you guys know, always too, if you go down into the description box, you're going to see links to the items that I'm going to be showing you guys in this video here. So if you happen to want to get anything that you see in the video, do click the buttons below. And as always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so today. Now, when we look at myofascial work, I said we'd look for the foam rolling. What we're doing is we're using the 36-inch roller mainly because it's easier to manipulate our body around. Now, granted, if you are still traveling for work, or maybe you just don't want that big of a roller, there is another company. They've actually created one that folds flat so you can put it into your suitcase. So I actually borrowed it from a very good client and friend of mine. So this is a really neat device. So if you go ahead, you notice that it's completely flat, all right, on all sides. But if I pull the string cords really tight, and I've got to make it pop, so hopefully we can do that. So we're gonna go ahead, make it really pop, because what we want to do is now it's become a roller, and it's really nice and strong and tight. It's got some of those grooves on it, so again, we can get really deep into the tissue. This is just a nice one for travel. So again, if you want to travel with a foam roller, highly recommend this one because it does lay nice and flat, doesn't interrupt, especially for us women, you know, how we're going to get our shoes, our clothes, our sweaters, everything into the bag, and yet a bulky foam roller. So for home purposes, yes, I recommend getting a 36-inch roller. Going to be easier to manipulate your body around. If you're traveling, check out this one. Now the next thing is actually one of my favorite devices, before we even get to the ball, is known as the stick. So, you know, back in graduate school, back in from 98 to 2001, actually a dear friend of mine that I went to school with invented the very first stick. So his name is Bradley Foster. Great guy, avid cyclist, rock climber, and so forth. But Brad actually took the concepts of the roller, and you know, he essentially started making things into a much more pliable stick. So if some of you out there do have a stick is a great way as well to get into the myofascial area, especially into the areas like the forearm where maybe it's a little harder to use an actual roller on and so forth. But a stick is actually really nice too. So if you're traveling, this is again something really simple. You can just put it into your suitcase and, you know, kind of take it to go type of deal. Now the very last thing that I always recommend, you know, all of my athletes, especially my runners, kind of take a look at is that massage ball. Now, you know, if you don't actually get a massage ball, but you have a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball at home, these are gonna be keys to your success because the ball itself can really get deep into the tissue. You can really work through things a lot differently. So this is one of the key elements that you're gonna want to your myofascial work is the actual massage ball. So like I said, foam rolling, you have the stick, you have a collapsible foam roller, and you even have a small little ball. They also make these with spikes on them. So again, when purchasing rollers and devices like this, it's all about what you can tolerate in terms of soft tissue release technique. So I always ask people, can they tolerate deep tissue massage, rolfing, cupping, those types of activities? If you can, you may want to invest in a spiky ball or a roller that does have more rigid edges on it. Okay, so this ball now is going to go to my assistant, Cab. He can enjoy and have some fun with it right now. But like I said, this is your survival kit in order to stay pain-free, or in order to stay injury-free as you embark upon that running journey. Whether you're a beginner runner, you're a novice runner, you're someone who does at least 8 half marathons a year. It's not unheard of. But again, this is kind of essentially putting together the tools that you would need for your survival kit, for your runner's bag, just some simple items that you can use to break down the tissue. So guys, if you found value in this little tutorial on the different types of soft tissue items that you can have, as your to-go kit, please do give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do. Now, there are other videos on the channel itself that specifically go over various different parts of the body regarding soft tissue work, so do check those out as well. And as always, this is Dr. Heather, and we're here fixing your pain naturally.